Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's episode, I'm up on the deck on a gorgeous summer evening to work on a ficus. So here is a look at the Melon Seed Ficus we're going to work on today. We'll do a little spin for you. You can take a peek on the playlist for my ficus and you'll find this melon seed on several episodes. I am doing a 365-day challenge with this ficus where I'm taking a picture of the tree every day for a year. I started on January 1st of this year. And so far I've only missed about a week or so's worth of photos due to vacations and so on. But this tree is going to be from January 1st, 21 to December 31st, a year in the life of the ficus tree. Just a little sneak peek. I have pruned the ficus a couple of times during this calendar year, and I'm going to have a prune right now. But some of these pictures will show you just a little bit of how far we've cut back and how far it's come back in just a few months, 8 months, and running. Give it one more spin for you. So this is a cutting from a workshop from several years ago, and again you can look at past episodes that show the progression of the work on this melon seed ficus. Started with a cutting about this thick right here, and now we've got some nice swelling at the bottom, just this little bit of kind of reverse taper look right here that from some angles is worse than others, with these branches getting super thick now. But we'll continue to work on that and hope that it smooths out over time. So being that it's middle August, we've got a good 6 weeks of growing on this, the rest of August and September, and we'll even keep this tree out here maybe into October as long as we're not getting any frost on this tree. I recently had the amazing opportunity to talk with Nigel Saunders of the Bonsai Zone, and talking about how he keeps his tropical trees outside even when the temps at night get below 50. Maybe we can go down into the 40s before we take the trees out. And as most people are aware of with the bonsai trees, we want to keep these outside as long as possible to get the full advantage of the sun and the fresh air, the wind, and all the gloriousness of being outside. So let's give this thing a pruning. It's going to be a pretty aggressive prune because I know I've pruned this aggressively inside in the plant room. Now outside with 6 more weeks for sure to grow, we should be good. There's a new bud right here at the base of this and this, which is 2 branches, plus there's one behind it right here. So that's 3 branches growing from the same area, and there's this new one growing here. This has some big growth up here. It looks like this branch right over here did not survive though, so we'll cut that off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this big branch off right here, the top part right there. And now we have this curve here, and now it goes back that way. We have this branch and this branch that we cut to 2, and we'll see what this one does in the future. But because we're going to do a harder prune, we'll cut that tip off. We'll cut that tip off. And we are sitting much less on this branch right there. And this one down here, we hope this will grow thicker over time. We'll again cut this shorter so we can get some more growth here this summer on that. So that's this branch right here. We could even cut this branch all the way down to this branch right here, or this one, so I can consider doing that. And the reason why we would do that is because you see how this is all one thickness up to about here. It starts to get a little thinner here, and then thinner, 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 thinnest. So there is some good taper there now. I could leave it. Let's cut the rest of the tree and see where we're at. Let's go behind this branch back here. we just have two growths that are super nice. We're just going to cut them down to 2 or 3 or 4 leaves. That's behind this growth back here. This one we can also cut back down. And then there's that whole branch right here now. This one right here is completely trimmed down. We got rid of a fair amount. Let's go over to the right side of the tree right now. We've got this nice little growth right here with some really tiny leaves right here. And a leaf up here. We're going to go ahead and just cut all this right off. All that growth, cutting that right off. We'll let this take over now. This branch in the back did a really nice job of dividing back here. Look at this, it divided into 2 right there. I'll cut this little leaf inside here. We're just going to trim this down to balance it out. And now we have 2 branches here. I'll cut off this leaf that's growing up and this leaf over here. And we'll see what these 2 do, how these grow here in this next spurt before I cut down to maybe even 1 there. And this one is so big. I'm going to cut all that top off. And we're down to, let's just go down to 1 leaf. So now we're going to look at the top of this tree here next. Let me see if I can get this branch a little shorter though. Let's tip off, leaf coming right at us. And we'll leave that right here. This one we're going to go shorter as well, the tip off. Now, this branch right here is growing inside, which competes against this right there. So we probably don't want that one at all. We'll cut that one off. We have another one right here, but for right now, we'll keep that for some more thickness down in here to get this one caught up with this, and we'll see how that goes. We might end up trimming this one off someday. Hard to say. So we're going to look at that branch right now. If we spin it around to the back, there's all kinds of growth. Right here, there are 3 branches right here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to cut the thick, tall one in the middle off. That shortens it up right there. Now back from the front view, we've got this kind of out in our face and this in the back. This one comes down too much. It crosses that branch, so we'll cut that off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this thick one off up here. And this one back here, trim down this one and trim down this one. There's a dead branch back there. Okay, so now the tree is where we could keep it, but let's see what we got in here. We got this one growing inside. Cut that off. So we got this little branch right here that's crossing this one in the back. As you can see, these 2 are competing. Let's just cut that one off. Cut this one leaf off. And now you can see the growth back here, so we're going to cut this off right here. Now it splits back there into 2. We've got some movement from here to there, and then over that way and this way. But then we have these that cross each other. So let's go ahead and cut this one off in front. And we've got this one in back that's growing pretty nicely. Got a little bit of movement at the bottom, but it's growing nicely. Fills up this space right here pretty well. And we might even go as bold as cutting this tree off way back here. Let's do it. We just cut that big thick branch for these 2 thin ones. So now we have a division into 2. We've got thicker to slightly thinner, but then this is definitely thinner, so we'll let those bulk up. So that was a drastic cut. Part of me wants to trim this one down here because this has a real skinny little bumpy section in there. It's not the most attractive branch. And if I were to cut it off right to about here, we might get some new growth right down here for a subdivision down there. These two branches up here are still fighting for space. We're just going to do that and hope for some back budding. Let's go right down the bump part right there, and then we'll see if something back buds right there. And then because this has this growth on this side, let's go ahead and cut that off right there. There is a major prune of the Melon Seed Ficus. So we're hoping for some back budding here. We've got a little tiny branch right here that could take over for that one if it doesn't work. And this guy right here is split off into two. This big fat one splits off into two here. We got a split of two up here and a split kind of two right here if I get rid of this one. And I actually could consider taking this off. Let's do that right there. These two might compete later on, so we'll hope for growth more this way next time. And we'll see what happens. Let's put the scissors down. Let's give it a spin around. So I left a little bit of green up top. I probably could have gotten rid of all the leaves on this tree and I would probably have gotten plenty of growth back. Again, take a peek at the life of this tree on the playlists of the ficus or the Melon Seed Ficus. A lot of foliage here that we took off. We took off over 75–80% if not more of this tree. But again, being it's August, we will have a lot of new growth. It'll shoot up some growth and then it'll store a whole bunch of energy for the fall where we bring it inside and it'll just sit in the basement in the plant room for many, many months. There is the Melon Seed Ficus. As the sun continues to set on this absolutely stunning summer day in Minnesota in mid-August, the update for today is on a few more of my ficus cuttings. So just a few weeks ago, we put a whole bunch of trees into the pots from the Fish Tank Ficus forest. So again, link in the description. Go take a look at the episode where we went ahead and transplanted all the ficuses that were in the Fish Tank forest. There were also some of the brush cherry, which is not a ficus. I learned that recently. And so let's take a close-up look of some of the trees that are up here on my porch, on the deck, that are in the small pots that we transplanted a few weeks back. That's our update for today. So let's take a peek. So the little tiny pot right here, this is one of the brush cherries. So that's a brush cherry, kind of an evergreen shrub that I've been bringing in as a tropical tree. I'm going to keep that outside to grow a lot longer. We also have in the blue pot, we have another one of the Melon Seed Ficus cuttings that's doing pretty well in that pot right there. Over there we have a couple more of the got the Benjamina, the variegated on the right, and on the left is the Green Island Ficus. One of the cuttings doing pretty well in the pot there. They're loving life. We just did an update on this one right here, but that is this little one is one of the trees, again a melon seed, really cute little cutting in that wonderful old antique looking pot. That one's in the full sun now, loving life. We have the Sarah Rayner pot right there with one of the ficus trees, and then right there another one of the ficus doing well in the pot. Oh, incidentally, I have my Marquette grape. My grapevines were totally demolished this year by the Japanese beetles. I took down the plant. I'm going to keep the base for possibly a bonsai, but this is a cutting right here of the Marquette grape. And even up here on the deck, far away from where the grapes were back there, the Japanese beetles still found this one. And there's a guy right there. Can we see that Japanese beetle? We don't want the Japanese beetle on there. I should have grabbed him and did something else with him, but he lived to he's gonna live another day. But new growth on that after the Japanese beetles kind of almost defoliated this one from me. So it's a fun cutting from my Marquette grape. We'll keep you posted on that one. Another little ficus. Actually, this one is the brush cherry version. There you go. The brush cherry leaves. Brush cherry evergreen bush. Then we got this one right here. This oval pot. Another brush cherry. Windswept. It's all going to the right. Doing pretty well. And then the last little one here, hunkered between my Portulacaria aphoris right here. That's actually one of my goldfish plants that I put into one of these cute pots around the same time. So they're all getting full sun all of August. They'll get sun all of September as long as it stays warm enough. And there's the update. They've all survived the transplant, the repot, and loving life on the porch. It's an absolutely stunning night in the backyard, up on the porch, taking a peek at all the trees, a little trimming, light breeze, temps in the 70s. Life is good right now. That's it for the update, and that's it for another Melon Seed Ficus prune. We cut it back hard. We'll keep you posted with future episodes. Take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you on the next one, everybody. Have a great night.